Hello everybody, welcome to Sweet Pea Crafts. Today I'm going to do a crochet tag. If you are new to my channel, this is where I share all my crafting adventures. Sorry, I guess I should step back. I feel a little rusty this morning. My name is Christy. I'm coming to you from Louisiana, where I live with my husband and my two fur babies. Summer has made an appearance. It is super hot here today. I think it's like 9 o'clock in the morning and it already feels like 100 outside. As someone who, I enjoy all 4 seasons, but in another couple of weeks I'll be over this weather. I live in the wrong place for that, I guess is where I'm going with this. Welcome to my channel. Today is just a tag that I've been meaning to get to. It's been floating around for a while. I'm actually think I'm combining 2 tags in one, but I couldn't find the questions for one of the tags, so I'll just do the few questions that I know I remember. And I'll say that I wasn't specifically tagged in this, but I got the questions from Gina at Knitting Turnpike. If you are a creator, if you have a YouTube channel and you're interested in doing it, I tag you. Also, forgive me, I try to take my glasses off when the glare is so bad you can't even see my eyes. And I'm sitting in front of a window. I don't have any way of closing it right now, but I need to look down at the questions, so I've got to leave them on, otherwise I'd have the book right up to my face. So now I've spent 2 minutes just jibber jabbering and not getting anywhere. Let's get to it. So the first question is, how long have you been crocheting? I've been crocheting for about 6 years. And the second question is, how did you learn? I learned from YouTube. I just watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't know, I probably haven't mentioned this in a while, but I'm left-handed, but I crochet right-handed. And I was just determined. It's just hard when you have to think about doing everything opposite. I know there are a lot of tutorials for left-handed people, but I was determined to just learn right-handed, and it's served me well. I I cut with my right hand. I always have. Growing up, when I was in elementary school and kindergarten, just learning how to cut, left-handed scissors probably still today are no bueno. They don't work very good. So I just learned how to cut with my right hand. So anyway, that had nothing to do with crochet, but I do crochet right-handed. Question number 3, what made you want to learn to crochet? I just have always been interested in it, always wanted to learn. And finally just bit the bullet and taught myself. What is the first thing you crocheted? I wish I still had it. It was a wash rag. I just used cotton, and I didn't actually even finish it because my main attempt was to get something to be a square, and it was kind of what shape is this? I don't know. It was not square. It was not even remotely square. But the first thing I ever made that I actually produced something that looked like it was supposed to look was a coaster. I made a coaster. So that was the first thing I ever made. And the question 5, what is the last thing you crocheted? So my last finished object, if you're a regular viewer on my channel, you will have seen a couple of videos back. I did a video just on this. It was the Crochet Peas 2020 Cow Histoire de Naturel. I'll get it out in a minute. And I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but this is the last, most recent thing that I have finished. And then I'm working on a baby blanket for our grandson that will be born the end of this year. What is the last stitch or technique that you learned? So I think I haven't stitched anything in a while with a completely new stitch that I've never seen before. But I have done this past this past project that I finished, I did do a lot of these long stitches that you either stitch 2 together, so maybe a treble 2 together or a double treble 2 together. In this case, it made a leaf pattern. That was a technique that I worked. It was a lot. There were a lot of them in this blanket. Right here, there's a 2 together stitch that makes the antenna on the butterfly. And I had previously, I don't think I had ever stitched something like that. So what is your current crochet project? So I don't have it with me, but it is Marnie's Garden, and it's a blanket. And if you watched my last episode or my upcoming episode, there will be updates on there. I'm currently working on that. Oh, what is something you want to learn to crochet? I am slightly obsessed with crocheting blankets. And again, I forgot to bring this in here with me, but I'll put my finger here so I can post a picture. There was a Janie Crow crochet along last year that I made a very tiny start on, and it is a blanket based on a William Morris wallpaper. I don't even remember the name of the cow, but when I finish this baby blanket, that's what I'm gonna pick back up and work on. So I will post a picture of it so you can see I do have the yarn for it, and it looks fairly complicated. So that'll be a nice project to kind of get my teeth into. So I think that since question 8 was something you want to learn to crochet, I think that I will learn quite a bit doing that project. Number 9 is what was your worst frogging experience? I kid you not, I had bought when we lived out of state for a little while. We were living up north, and I made a blanket, and it was I don't even remember where I got it. It was a free pattern. I don't remember where I got it from. And it was kind of a repeating pattern, and it started from the center, and it just made one giant square. You just kept making it for as long as you wanted to. And I was using actually a bulky yarn that I had to use this hook for, because this was the only size hook that I had that I could use with that yarn. And I did not mark my corners, and because of the way the pattern was, and I wasn't as experienced a crocheter as I am now, I would just sit down and crochet and do my thing, and before you knew it, I had gotten up to lay it on my bed to see kind of how much bigger I wanted to go with this thing, and I had missed a corner, and so one whole side of it, the corner was not even remotely close to where it went, and I bet I had to rip half of that blanket back. I was using a cake of yarn for it, and I don't know, but I think I used like 8 cakes. It was a lot, and I must have pulled out 4 balls of yarn that I wound up that were like this big, and I was so disgusted with myself. And I learned a valuable lesson that it's, even if you think you know what's going on, it's good to mark your corners because you can get distracted, or just, you know, I was probably watching TV or listening to something and just lost track of where I was. So that was definitely my worst frogging experience. And question 10 was, what is your most proud crochet project? And that's easy. That is this, sorry, I keep catching it on something. That's this blanket. I am most proud of this blanket. It took me a good bit of hard work to get it done, and it's definitely the most complicated thing I've ever crocheted. So that is my most proud project. So those were the 10 questions on the tag that I could find the questions on. I know that the other tag talked more about what hooks you use and other things like that. So just thought I would show you a selection of my hooks and kind of my experience with this, with hooks and tools. I think a lot of other people, I started out just buying a set of hooks from Walmart. These were boy hooks, B-O-Y-E, and there is nothing wrong with them. I'll show you how the head looks on it. There's nothing wrong with them per se. Yarn for me slips off of the end of this real easy. It's not a deep groove, and oops, it didn't take me long to figure out this was not working for me. And being that crochet was my first fiber art besides that used anything like besides a needle and thread, I just didn't see why people would spend extra money on hooks and what the big deal was. I thought a hook's a hook, whatever. So I moved on up to Susan Bates hooks, and if you can notice, they have a much deeper groove, and these worked much better for me. However, because it's so thin, I would get a lot of hand cramping. So I tried, I think I probably got these two kinds of hooks at the same time. I got the Susan Bates that have the little grip on them, and I also forked over the money to get me a set of Clover Armor hooks. And these are definitely by far my favorite hooks. In fact, this is, I think one of the questions in that was, what is your most used size? And I mostly crochet with a DK weight or worsted weight yarn, and a 4 to 4.5 is definitely my most used size, and I have several of this size. So those are hooks that I really love. These are the majority of the time. I'm going to show you a few other more expensive hooks. These are the ones that I always come back to. They seem to be just the right thickness for me not to get a lot of hand cramps. But I still, I had wanted to try furls so bad. And so I have, let me see where, at first I bought these, not a whole set. I never bought a whole set. This one happens to be an eye, which is a 5.5. It's just what I pulled. I bought some of the wooden ones, and they have a very deep groove in it. I don't know what that part of the crochet hook is called. It took some getting used to, because I had stitched so much with something that is not this rounded in the middle, and I know for some people, you know, these are the only hooks that they can use that don't hurt their hand. I do occasionally use these hooks, but they are not my favorite. I did also get a few of some that are resin, the same style as the wooden one, and they are very lightweight. The resin is slightly heavier than the wood, but the wood is very, very lightweight, almost too lightweight for me. This seems to be a better middle ground for me. And like I said, I do use them if I have a real splitty yarn, though. These don't seem to, it just seems to make it worse. I mean, it has a super pointed end on it, and that helps, but then I split yarn in the middle, so they aren't my favorite. And these days, since I knit more, I tend to just have one crochet project going at a time, so then I will just use my favorite hook. I needed a real small hook for something one time, and I didn't. We were going out of state, and I bought 2 of these little tiny wooden, I'm not sure how you'd pronounce it. Luca. It's Lykke. I'm not sure. This is very uncomfortable for me to use because it is so thin. So I tend to keep this in with some of my knitting. I also have a set of Tulip Atimo hooks. Very, very tiny hooks. This is a 1.75. I think when I bought these, I was a very new crocheter and I didn't realize that the whole set was super tiny. So I'm glad now that I have them because I can use them for beading, but I have never actually crocheted a project with anything this tiny. I've never done any filet crochet or anything with crochet thread. And then the last hooks I wanted to show you are these other furls, and these are very heavy and they have more of a tip like the clovers that I really enjoy. And I do I have used these and they do feel good in the hand. They just, once I start a project with a hook, I need to stick with it with the same hook, because especially using something like this that has a completely different handle to it, it can really change my tension. So like I said, I tend to only have one crochet project going at a time, and I tend to always use my clover armor hooks or a more, I'm not sure which it is, because those are my favorites. And then real quickly, because I see I'm coming up on my time, on a lot of time, for crochet I tend to prefer this type of stitch marker, the plastic ones that look like a little clothespin. They are easier to get into crochet, and I've had the kind that you just, that are open, a little circle, and you just kind of twist them in there, but they'll fall out. And the metal bulb markers that I use for my knitting don't work as well. They tend to catch in my crochet. So these are my, I mainly use these stitch markers just for crochet. So, and I have sitting here in front of me a whole little set of them. So I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through my video, this Monday, this video will be going up on Monday. Today is Saturday. What is Monday? This 15th or something, 14th or 15th. The 14th, Monday the 14th. Y'all know I never know what day it is. I've really got to get a calendar in here. This video will be going up on the 14th, and then following Monday, the 21st, I will have a new giveaway on my channel and an update on all the stuff that I've been working on. So thank you so very much for watching, and happy crafting. Have a wonderful day. Bye.